My teenage boy sided with his scheming mother, disappeared from my life, and believed her twisted stories. Then reality came crashing down. My world collapsed around me the day my son Alex, 15, suddenly stopped speaking to me. It happened right in the middle of my divorce proceedings from my wife of 18 years. I was 38, working as an architectural engineer in Portland, completely blindsided by this sudden change in my once close relationship with my boy. The custody battle became a nightmare. Alex insisted on living with his mother, claiming they got along better. This struck me as bizarre. He and I had always shared a special bond through our love of building model planes and hiking the nearby mountains. The switch happened without warning or explanation. Before I could properly process what was happening, he had moved out to live with his mother in her new downtown apartment. I was devastated. I tried countless times to reconnect with him, to understand what had happened, but he remained distant, only communicating about essential matters. Eventually, after multiple rejections, I stopped trying so hard. The divorce finalized, granting me visitation rights, but Alex made it clear he didn't want to see me. He referenced whatever happened with Mom as his reason, but I was completely in the dark. I hadn't done anything wrong. It was my wife who had betrayed our marriage by having an affair with her gallery manager. When I attempted to visit him at her new place, I was turned away. Despite having legal rights to see my son, I found myself unable to connect with him for nearly an entire year. I considered returning to court, but the thought of putting Alex through another emotional legal battle seemed cruel. So I accepted my situation, painful as it was, and tried to move forward with my life. Then one rainy Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. Alex appeared at my doorstep, duffel bag in hand. Without a word, he wrapped his arms around me in a bear hug. I was so overwhelmed with joy that I didn't ask questions. I simply welcomed him home. We sat in silence for a while, the sound of rain against the windows the only noise in the room, until he finally spoke. The truth hit me like a physical blow. My ex-wife had systematically turned our son against me by portraying me as emotionally toxic and verbally abusive. She claimed I was two-faced, kind when Alex was around but monstrous when we were alone. To prove this, she had shown Alex numerous text messages stripped entirely of context. One example was a conversation where I'd insisted she wear a warmer coat to an outdoor art exhibition. My concern had been the near-freezing temperatures and her flimsy jacket, but she'd told Alex I was controlling her appearance to prevent male attention. Another time, she'd shown him my angry texts after she'd openly flirted with my colleague at a dinner party. She'd claimed innocence, painting me as irrationally jealous. With nearly a dozen carefully selected and context-free conversations, she convinced our son that the father he'd loved for 15 years wasn't real, that I was actually the monster she described. At 16, impressionable and already struggling with our separation, Alex believed her. Especially damning was her claim that her affair had only happened because I'd driven her to it, with my supposed toxic behavior. The affair itself had come to light when she carelessly left her phone on the coffee table during a shower. 7 months of deception ended in that moment, and so did our marriage. Even then, Alex had initially supported me, until his mother executed her manipulative plan behind closed doors. Within days, my son had turned against me, leading to her easy victory in gaining custody. Alex discovered the truth by accident. He'd overheard his mother on the phone with her cousin, who was going through her own divorce. My ex-wife was advising her to use the same tactics she'd employed with Alex, to turn the child against the father. Everything clicked into place for him in that moment. He left without confronting her, simply leaving a note about staying at a friend's house so I wouldn't get in trouble when he turned up at my door. I couldn't bring myself to be angry with him. How could I blame a teenager caught in an emotional hurricane, manipulated by a parent he trusted? Instead, my anger focused solely on the 36-year-old woman who had exploited her own child's vulnerability during one of the most difficult transitions of his life. I immediately called my attorney to explain the situation. He informed me we could pursue legal action for intentional parental alienation, especially since we had Alex's first-hand testimony. We began preparing the paperwork for a custody modification right away. 2 days later, after numerous missed calls from his mother, Alex finally told me she was frantically trying to locate him. I decided there was no point in hiding. She would hear from my attorney soon enough. I called her, explaining that Alex was living with me now and that I knew about her manipulation. She feigned innocence at first, but I reminded her specifically of each screenshot she'd used to poison our son against me. I informed her bluntly that I would be pursuing full custody and considering additional legal action for slander or defamation. The conversation quickly devolved into shouting, with her claiming I had no right to take her son away or pursue additional lawsuits against her. After hanging up, I needed to clear my head. I went for a walk around the neighborhood for about 30 minutes, leaving Alex at home. When I returned, I found my ex-wife in my living room, with Alex sitting across from her looking devastated. One look at his face told me she'd been berating him. Furious, I sent Alex to his room and confronted her. Surprisingly, her anger wasn't focused on losing Alex. It was about the potential financial impact of another lawsuit. She broke down, claiming she'd lost her job months earlier after ending the affair with her gallery manager, who had subsequently revealed their relationship to everyone. According to her, she was between jobs and struggling financially. She even admitted feeling relieved that Alex had discovered the truth and wanted to live with me, as it meant fewer expenses for her. I was stunned by her callousness, that her financial situation and career seemed more important to her than her relationship with our son. I told her plainly that she was a terrible mother, who deserved whatever legal consequences came her way. After ordering her to leave, she bombarded me with texts claiming I was being vindictive by pursuing the lawsuit just for revenge. Initially, I remained determined to make her pay, but after reflection and reading various perspectives, I realized my priority needed to be Alex's well-being, not vengeance. I instructed my attorney to drop the potential slander case while proceeding with the custody modification. Alex provided all the evidence we needed, making it clear he wanted no contact with his mother after their confrontation at my house. In an unexpected turn, my ex-wife decided to relinquish custody entirely. Both my attorney and I were shocked by this decision. While her financial situation might have been challenging, giving up all parental rights over temporary financial difficulties seemed extreme. Something didn't add up. As the director of a prestigious art gallery, her severance would have been substantial, and she'd always been financially prudent. 3 months without employment shouldn't have devastated her finances to this degree. The day she signed away her rights was emotionally wrenching. Despite everything, she had been Alex's mother for 15 years, and watching her hug him one last time broke something in both of us. For days afterward, Alex was inconsolable. Despite my feelings toward her, I couldn't deny the impact her absence would have on our son's life. The final revelation came during lunch with an old high school friend who, coincidentally, was my ex-wife's second cousin from her father's side. When I explained our situation, including her financial struggles and job loss, he looked perplexed. He showed me her recent social media posts, photos of her vacationing on a beach with her boyfriend, lounging on a yacht in clear contradiction to her claims of financial hardship. It became sickeningly clear. There was no job loss, no breakup with her affair partner, no financial crisis. It had all been an elaborate ploy to free herself from parental responsibilities while casting herself as a victim. She could have simply asked to relinquish custody if that's what she wanted, but instead chose a path that inflicted maximum emotional damage on our son. When I finally told Alex the truth, I expected another emotional breakdown. Instead, he simply shrugged, saying it no longer mattered to him. He'd already cut ties emotionally the day he left her house, and considered her signing away her rights as the final severance of their relationship. Her lies, while hurtful, couldn't hurt him anymore. We decided against pursuing any further legal action. Alex has moved forward with remarkable resilience, focusing on his schoolwork and rekindling his passion for model planes. As for me, I'm learning to be both mother and father, helping him navigate the complex emotions of abandonment while trying to create a stable, loving home. Sometimes I look at him across the dinner table, this young man who has endured more emotional turmoil in 1 year than most face in a decade, and I'm filled with both sorrow for what he's lost and pride for who he's becoming. We're healing together, day by day, building a new definition of family that, while smaller than before, feels increasingly solid beneath our feet. If there's one thing I've learned through this ordeal, it's that the truth eventually surfaces, even when buried under layers of deception. And when it does, the only choice is to face it head-on and move forward with as much grace as possible. If you enjoyed this story and want to read more like it, please subscribe to our channel for weekly updates on real-life stories that matter.